to you about proper sanitation for chicken handling. Some of the first things you want to do is make sure when you're storing your chicken, it's stored in the bottom of your cooler. You want it to be the lowest level of your cooler, away from any produce, dairy, or any other things. Then you want to look at your box. Where is it from? You want to look at your labeling. You can see it's from Newport. You can see the date it was processed and packed. And now you can see the date it was received, which was 9/8.
Yeah.
The next thing you want to look at when examining your chicken when it comes in is after you check the date, open up your box. Is it double bagged? The bag helps prevent contaminants and other materials from entering your box. Also, when you open your bag, look at your chicken. It's been double protected and the chicken's been cut and bagged already. Look for the USDA sign that you have on your chicken. Chicken has to be checked the USDA, but it does not have to be graded. Preparing to get ready for cutting your chicken, there's some things you need to remember and some materials you need to have on hand. First of all, gloves. Always have gloves so we're not cross-contaminating. Every time you move from the chicken station, make sure you change your gloves. You never want to keep your gloves on. You want to do one project at one time. Some other things you want to keep in mind is always use a separate cutting board. You never want to cross-utilize and cross-contaminate using other products. One cutting board, one use. Make sure there's nothing else around you. You don't want any produce, any dairy, any ready-to-eat food. This is a huge hazard and can cause serious illness. Next, you want a knife that's only dedicated for butchery of the chicken during your time. Some other things to keep in mind is when you're sitting on the kitchen, what do they say? The kitchen's always hot. So keep your chicken on ice so it stays at proper temperature. You keep your chicken that isn't prepared here, and then when you prepare your chicken, have a perforated pan so it's not directly on the ice being raw chicken. And you have all your proper materials. Let's get ready to cut some chicken. Open your bag and make sure that you're always keeping it at the right temperature. So take it out, put it directly on the ice so it's staying cold. I like to put a little ice on top as well, just to make sure it stays good and cool. You want to take your knife, lightly puncture your bag, open it up. We're looking for smell, we're looking for discoloration, and we're looking for anything that just looks out of place with your chicken. Then you want to get it on your board. Remember, nothing else is around and it's all about the chicken. You want to trim up all the excess fat. Set that aside or throw it in a wastebasket or in the trash can. Then you want to take your chicken, break it out however you need prepared. Then you're going to put it on the pan for ice. Once you're done, you want to make sure it's at the right temperature. Your thermometer is your friend. Make sure it's anywhere between 38 to 40 degrees is ideal for this project. Once your chicken has been properly broken down and you're ready to go, make sure your chicken is wrapped, labeled, dated, and initialed. That way, no matter who walks in the walk-in, they know what time it was put in there, they know who did it, so they can ask any questions if need be. And make sure you put it on the lower bottom of your walk-in. The biggest concern is what do you do after you're done with your chicken? Make sure everything is properly sanitized. Once your chicken's safe, it's all about your utensils. Make sure you wash it in a 3-compartment sink. Make sure it's washed, rinsed, and sanitized heavily, everything you did. And make sure your knife is extra sanitized as well, because once you go on to the next project, you're going to have to use that knife again, and you don't want to cross-contaminate it with any bacteria. One of the first things you want to worry about when your chicken comes into the kitchen is it frozen? Is it thawed? Ideally, as chefs, we want all our meat products to come in fresh and thawed. But if it does come in frozen, some key advice to give you on how to properly thaw it is to run it under cold water in an airtight bag. It needs to be in a tight bag so contaminants don't spread throughout the chicken. Also, keep the water cold or have running water. If you do it without running water, it needs to be changed out every 30 minutes to keep the water flow and the contamination from happening. Always when you cook your chicken, make sure you cook it to an internal temp of 165 degrees. And make sure when you're cooking large amounts of chicken, you always do multiple checks with your thermometer. Just take it out, poke it in the middle. The center of your pan is always going to give you the lowest temp. The outsides cook much faster, so remember that. So remember, proper sanitation is always the key to safe eating and healthy eating. You want to thaw it. You want to thaw it correctly, you want to have it come in correctly, and you want to sanitize correctly. All these things will keep you and your guests safe and happy.